YB stays on your neck.
To do, but it's hats off to him. You know, you can't make no mistake here. Tyson Fury is technically the best heavyweight on the planet by a country mile. He's the best boxer of them all. It's just certain things that he lacks, like the pure brute power and force of someone like an AJ. But as we've seen recently, that can be beaten by other things, made by timing, by punch variety. There's so many flaws that each heavyweight has a flaw. You know, Tyson Fury goes down, but he gets up, as we've seen. You know, it was like something out of the SummerSlam in the wrestling, the way he got up, like the Undertaker against Deontay Wilder. So he can never be written off. You've just, with the all, I say, they all have the flaws. Deontay Wilder technically is probably the worst heavyweight champion of all time, but and he's a one-trick pony. But don't get me wrong, guys, it's a hell of a trick. You know, if that.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. So we just heard there from Tony the Bellew, and I've got to be honest, I feel like he's not sold AJ down the river, but I do feel is a bit of a bandwagon don, this Tony Bellew is. Because the reason I say that is because before this loss to Ruiz, Tony Bellew would blow AJ. Or, listen, people think YB's a bit of a blower, a bit of an AJ blower, but never mind that. Tony Bellew, he would blow AJ to kingdom come. He he could not say a bad word about AJ, but I feel now, he's a bit of a turncoat, if I'm honest with you. A little bit of a Tony the Turncoat Bellew, and funnily enough, it actually rhymes. In fact, scarily enough, it rhymes. Tony the Turncoat Bellew. Let's see what he said. You can't make no mistake here. Tyson Fury is technically the best heavyweight on the planet by a country mile. Now, I know for a fact, I wish I had the time, I'd go back and I'd bring it up, but I know for a fact, Bellew used to say this about AJ. I'm sure he did. I'm sure he never used to talk about how... I'm sure he'd talk about how AJ would deal with Wilder and Fury. I'm sure that... Maybe I'm wrong. Put in the comments below. Is it my imagination? I'm sure Bellew used to always talk about how good AJ is and how AJ would deal with Wilder and Fury on the same night. I'm sure he did. Honestly, that's what I believe. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments below. I'm sure he was. Bellew used to be well confident that AJ would beat both of them. Now all of a sudden, AJ's lost, and Tony Turncoat is on the Fury bandwagon. And to be fair, you do see a lot of UK fans. They do have this kind of, they basically cling on to the next best thing. So when AJ lost, they think, oh, Fury, oh, Fury, just hoping there's someone from the UK. Whereas your boy YB ain't like that. I couldn't care less in that sense. I want to see the good fight. Simple. No doubt. And at the moment, Wilder and Fury ain't giving us no good fights. That's what we do know. Let's not forget. Everyone's got a short memory. Oh, AJ lost. Let's not forget. The Fury and or Wilder fight could have happened in April. Let's get that straight now. Yeah? Let's get it straight. At 60-40, this fight could have been over. We could have been waiting for the rematch. AJ versus Wilder or AJ versus Fury rematch. That's what we could have been waiting for. Fact. They did not want to take the fight. That's what we do know. Yeah? Anyway, let's get back to Tony Turncoat's comments. So he says there, you can't make no mistake here. Fury is technically the best heavyweight on the planet by a country mile. So not only is that a bit of a turncoat comment, he's sold AJ down the river. Also, based on what? So Fury beat Schwartz, and that's now tipped the edge for you. That's now proven that Fury is the best heavyweight by a country mile. I don't believe it. And the reason I don't is this. Let's not forget, I've got proof that Tony the Turncoat is a turncoat. Because, what do we know? Tony Bellew was licking his chops. He was begging to get his hands. Just like every other heavyweight, to be fair. Just like every other heavyweight, apart from David Haye, that is. Every other heavyweight, apart from David Haye, is licking their chops to get their hands on Tyson Fury. Every single one, apart from David Haye. I've got to be honest, David Haye didn't want no problems with Tyson Fury. That's what we do know. Yeah? I'm a truth caller here. David Haye wanted no issues with Tyson Fury. Fact. He didn't want not even one. But Tony Bellew, he wanted Fury all day. He wanted him. So you got to ask yourself a question now. Wait there a minute. We know the Bellew refused to fight AJ. Didn't want no problems with AJ. But he wanted every single problem with Fury. So what does that tell us? That tells us there's a bit of a turncoat situation going on here. Because before AJ lost, he didn't want to fight AJ and he was happy to fight Fury. Which, that tells you really AJ's the better fighter. However, now, what do we know? AJ lost, Fury wins, and all of a sudden, the Bellew's talking about how much of a heavyweight boxer. Oh, yeah, Fury's technically the best and the best heavyweight on the planet by a country mile. Very interesting. Anyway, let's not spend too long on that. The next thing the mighty Bellew has to say is this: he's the best boxer of all. I tried to do a Liverpool accent. He's the best boxer of all of them. It's just certain things that I can't do it, man. Done that. He's the best boxer of all of them. It's just like certain things that he lacks pure brute power and force of someone like an Anthony Joshua. Let me get that straight again. He's the best boxer of all of them. It's just certain things that he lacks, like pure brute power and force. And force of... I can't even read English, man. I'm dyslexic, I think. I'm illiterate. He's the best boxer of all of them. It's just certain things that he lacks, like pure brute power and force of someone... I'm sorry, man. That English ain't right. I don't care what no one says. This TalkSport website is dead. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that English ain't right. I can't read it. It's just certain things. It's just certain things that he lacks, like pure brute power and force of someone... Nah, that's not right. I'm sorry. That's not proper English. Anyway, so he's basically saying that Fury lacks pure brute power and force. But that's what I'm saying. That there's a contradiction. You can't sit there and blow Fury about, oh, there's no doubt he's the best boxer by a country mile. He's technically the best. All this business. You can. It's a contradiction. Now, mate, if you're a 122 pounder or a 126 pounder, and you've got no power, you could argue, well, he's the best 122 pounder by a country mile. That's no problem. But as a heavyweight, it's impossible to be the best heavyweight by a country mile and have no power. That's a contradiction. Yeah? Simple. It's like saying, oh, he's the richest black man and he's white. What do you mean? He's not the richest black man because he's white. That's exactly the same thing. Oh, he's the best heavyweight boxer by a country mile, but he's got no power. What? It don't make no damn sense, does it? It's like saying Bill Gates is the richest black man. That's what it's like saying. It don't make no damn sense. Simple. But as we've seen, he goes on to say, here we go. This is really where the turncoat business came from. But as we've seen recently, power can be beaten by other things, by timing and punch variety. I feel like that's a bit of a jab there at AJ, to be honest with you. It's kind of, as I said, I feel like he's sailing AJ down the river. He's sailing him down the river, like poor baby Moses, sailing him right down the river. I feel maybe it's just me, but I get my turncoat senses the tingling. It feels a bit weird because before Bellew had nothing but good things to say. He would blow AJ, blow him, no doubt. And now all of a sudden he's saying, oh yeah, we've seen recently that power can be beaten by other things like timing and punch variety. He wasn't talking about how timing and punch variety would beat AJ. See what I'm trying to say? He was talking about how AJ's the best thing since sliced bread. Now all of a sudden, you want to talk about how timing and punch variety can overcome AJ's skills. Very interesting. And like I say, I'm sure the Bellew had AJ as number one. Now all of a sudden it's Fury, turncoat. Each heavyweight has a flaw. Tyson Fury goes down. This is another turncoat comment in my opinion. Each heavyweight has a flaw. Tyson Fury goes down, but he gets up, as we've seen. He can never be wrote off. I don't know, maybe it's me reading too much into it, but the fact he said, but he gets up, unlike AJ. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I got a feeling, I got a weird turncoat. My turncoat senses are tingling, no doubt. Tony the turncoat. Then he goes on to say, they all have flaws. Deontay Wilder technically is probably the worst heavyweight champion of all time. He's a one-trick pony, but don't get me wrong, it's a hell of a trick. Now I actually disagree on this. I've heard people say this is the worst boxer. I don't care what no one says, you can watch all my videos. I've never actually talked about how much of a bad boxer Wilder is. I don't think he's a bad boxer at all. I think he's pretty standard as far as heavyweight boxing goes. Because for me, heavyweight boxing is more about your conditioning. It's much more important to be able to go 12 rounds. Historically, look at Klitschko in that. Klitschko, for example. Both of them two, Vladimir and Vitaly, at the start of their career, they were limited by their gas tank. They only had 6 rounds in them. And that's the problem with a lot of heavyweights. So for me, rather than skills aren't so important, look at old T's. Now he is 50 to be fair, but still, in the heavyweight division, conditioning is most important because 9 times out of 10, if you can get to the 8th round and still have gas, you're going to win the fight in the heavyweight division because most people's wheels are going to fall off. So it's all well and good being technical. It's all well and good being technical as you like. If you haven't got the gas tank to back it up, and that's what I've been trying to tell AJ. It's no good. It's no good having all the skills if you ain't got no gas tank. And I blame AJ's team. Bottom line, it's a consistent issue. It's no good coming in 247, 250 and running out of gas. Because all them big muscles ain't going to help you none. You won't be able to use them. But let's see how he goes forward. But the bottom line is, back to this point of the Deontay Wilder criticism. Me personally, I don't see it. I don't see how he's a bad boxer. He knows how to defend himself. He's got a pretty solid jab, a good one too. Now, when I say he's not a bad boxer, my criticisms of Wilder have been his technique, i.e., he doesn't know how to throw a short shot to save his life. He has no short hooks, no short uppercuts, and he flails. He flails. Now, if that's what my definition of a boxer is, the ability to stay on your feet and win a fight. Wilder does that. I'm sorry, he does it. You can't say he's a bad boxer. What do you mean? He seems he wins a lot, even though he's fighting stiffs. But still, even when he fought Fury, as an example, he put him down twice. So that to me, you can't be a bad boxer. And in my opinion, if anyone was to win Fury versus Wilder the first fight, I believe Wilder won. If anyone anyone won that fight, it was Wilder in my opinion. I believe if you get put down twice, you've won the fight. Especially when it was nip and tuck. It wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't a boxing lesson where Fury was miles apart. Fury was miles in front I just didn't see that performance. I really didn't. I didn't see a Floyd Mayweather type performance. The way people were going on were as if it was a Floyd Mayweather versus Canelo situation. It really wasn't. And besides, Wilder put him down twice. So even if it was a Canelo versus Mayweather kind of performance, Wilder put him down twice, which is massive. Fundamentally, for me in boxing, being put down on your back is massive. I believe it's worth more than 1 point, in my opinion. But anyway, to the point of this video, I don't think Wilder's a bad boxer. I'd like to see him, because from my opinion, when you step back and look at Wilder, if Wilder threw some short inside shots, I don't see how you can say he'd be that bad. What else does he do bad? Yeah, he runs in. But if Wilder ran in and threw short punches, it'd completely change his game. My criticism is he runs in and just flails his arms all over the place, which for me is easily countered. If he tightened it up and ran in and threw some Mike Tyson style, where you're keeping your arms close to your body still, in my opinion, he's actually going to be more powerful. I think Wilder loses a lot of his power by looping too much. He bowls, from what I've learnt anyway, or understand, your power is when you keep your joints at a 90-degree angle. When you're throwing hooks with a straight arm, that's why you see Wilder pull his bicep out and pull his shoulders all the time, because your arms weren't meant to be thrown straight. You need to keep the power close to your body. You need to keep your elbows bent when you're throwing hooks and uppercuts. That's what I think anyway. Whereas Wilder, he throws an uppercut with a straight damn arm. He throws his hook literally straight arm. So he's losing. He's putting all the strain on his small muscles, like his delts and whatnot. Whereas when you throw a hook or an uppercut with a proper bend, look at the way Tyson did it. Tyson would throw hooks and uppercuts with his arm short, extremely short and tight, 90-degree angle. And the difference is I'll tell you what a good example is. When you do a bench press, try doing a bench press with a grip, with a massively wide arm grip. That's the equivalent. Do a bench press with your arms like 2 meters apart. Yeah? You're going to lose all the power. Where you're strong is when your bench press is pretty much parallel with your chest, when your arms are parallel. But Wilder don't throw it there. Does that make sense? Yeah? When you throw that Mike Tyson style hooks and uppercuts, you engage your chest, you engage your lats, you engage your biceps. You can't engage your biceps when your arms straight. You can't engage your chest when your arms are straight. You can't engage your lats when your arms are straight. It's impossible. Or they're a lot weaker from that position, but that's my opinion. People will say this is my problem with Wilder fans as well. They make excuses for it. Oh, well, it works. Yeah, it might work, but imagine how much better he could be. But Wilder doesn't seem to be bothered, so that's his business. Anyway, I've rambled there for a while, but Tony the Belle and Bellew, Tony the Turncoat, in my opinion, has been exposed. Listen, when it comes down to your boy's a turncoat. He's turned on AJ. He has forsaken AJ. No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. I'll be intrigued to see what you lot think anyway. Tony the Turncoat has been exposed.